Okay, hello. Hello, 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 hello. Hello. We are back today. What's up, everybody? We got some stuff to do today. So, as it says in the title, we're gonna watch some FF10 vids just to close out the FF10 stuff after having done literally everything there is to do concerning FF10. Then we will look at remake news. Apparently there is a here. Apparently there was an interview. Why is this doing a thing? I guess it doesn't show the whole thing. I don't know. Weird. Oh well. That's weird. This is just a black bar at the bottom that's bothering me. Alright, whatever. Who cares? But then, yeah, there's apparently an interview that came out 2 days ago that I will look at. And then we will start FF12, which I have pre-downloaded. I've pre-downloaded it. So, we will play that. But yeah. Cool stuff. I was told to watch this one, because apparently this one's good. So, I'm gonna watch it.
So, let's do it. 20 things
Let's do it.
Final Fantasy X. We all know that Final Fantasy X is a long old game. It features hours and hours
Yep.
of cutscene and dialogue. The cutscenes are unskippable, so
Yep.
it always takes a long time to get through. But did you know that the speedrun record for this game is under 10 hours?
I actually knew
Despite
that.
a good 7-8 hours of those cutscenes, you can still complete this game in under 10 hours.
You lied to me,
which is
game.
mighty impressive.
I mean video. I knew that.
Next up, we have an Aeon that everybody loves, and that is Yojimbo. I mean, who doesn't love seeing Yojimbo use that
Good old
infamous
Yojimbo.
attack to destroy any enemy in the game? But during the animation for this attack, when your own Yojimbo is using it, the reflection in the sword is correct. But when Dark Yojimbo is using this attack, the reflection in the sword is actually of the normal, regular Yojimbo.
Cool.
So the reflection is incorrect. Number 3, keeping on the theme of Yojimbo, we all know that Yojimbo has an adorable dog by his side, who you can't target because, he's too cute to be killed.
He's a cutie.
But what you might not know is that if you search for his name on the internet, you'll see that everyone writes his name as Daigoro. But from what we know, from what we've actually dug up from the game's files, Daigoro is actually called Koma Inu. I probably butchered that pronunciation big time, but it literally translates as lion dog. So Yojimbo's dog's name
appropriately
is
named,
but it's never written anywhere in the
yeah,
game.
Daigoro.
It can be found if you dig into the game's data files.
Cool.
So this is a
Any
little
hacker
bit
mans?
a funny one that I stumbled across while I was
Blitzball
doing research
kid.
for this video. One of my favorite quotes in the entire game.
I want to be a
little kid
Blitzball.
running around in Kilika who excitedly
Yeah.
says that he wants to be a Blitzball when he grows up. Now, obviously, this is one of those things that is just hilarious, but it turns out that it's actually not an incorrect translation. Apparently, the original Japanese also said, "I want to be a Blitzball when I grow up." But apparently, in the
That was the
HD
kid.
remaster, they fixed the Japanese version to probably say, "I want to be a Blitzballer when I grow up." I don't know what it says. If anyone knows the original Japanese,
It
please
still
let me know in
said,
the
I want to be
comments.
Blitzball
But
in the
apparently
HD
the
remaster.
English version, as we've seen, they haven't fixed the
Yeah.
translation. So if you're not playing the Japanese
Easter egg, I
version
guess.
of the HD remaster, that kid still wants to be a Blitzball when he grows up, and I wish him the best of luck. Number 5, I am sure everyone who's been to the Cavern of the Soul and Faith has met the Magic Urn, and met the Magic Urn many
Oh, yeah.
times, because I think, based on playtesting, he appears up to about
Oh,
50%
wow.
of the time.
He's
in
got
the Cavern of Soul and Faith. But this is
999,000
not,
HP.
thing that I'm sharing. What I'm going to share is that there
Almost
are
a
actually
million.
2 ways to kill the Magic Urn, because most of you guys probably never bothered to kill the Magic Urn, but there's 2
Yeah.
ways to do it.
I took damage
One
like that
is
too.
Tossiel Zanmata, which you probably could have guessed, but the other is
That
Doom.
makes sense.
The central eye has a Doom counter of 200, so you can defeat these
Really?
annoying little bastards. But
What do you get?
What's annoying is that the Magic Urn will still have the last laugh, because even if you defeat
Ah!
it doesn't give you.
What's the point? What's the point?
And with that, we move swiftly on to the Monster Arena. In the Monster Arena, there's a section.
Oh, I didn't
called
do this
Original
part.
Creations, but you will quickly
Ooh.
realize that the creations in there aren't very original.
Oh my gosh, she just did
because
39,000
they're all
damage.
rehashes of previous bosses or future bosses that
Ouch.
you will see in the game. But there is
This
only
is tough.
one enemy in the entire monster arena that you cannot fight anywhere else, and that is Nestlug. For some reason, that
Nestlug.
is the only truly original creation. But there is speculation that they might have use it as a
21k.
random encounter somewhere, because in Final Fantasy X,
Yeah, I remember
there's
this.
like a mini version that appears, I think.
I remember
in the
this.
Info region. But yes, Nestlug is the only truly original creation.
I remember that.
So maybe you've been fighting warrior monks in Zanarkand or Bevel or
Oh,
something
yeah.
like that. And
They're
you might have
zombified.
Slayer overdrive ability equipped, or Victor or something like that. And you kill an enemy and you realise that even though you've only killed one enemy, your overdrive has kind of gone up by more than it should. Why has this happened? Well,
I didn't
the
notice
answer is
this.
actually quite interesting. These monks carry guns, right?
Yeah.
And the game, for whatever reason, considers these guns to be like a second fiend. So it treats them as like a second opponent.
That's
so when you end
weird.
up killing a warrior monk,
Oh my
you actually
gosh,
end
yeah, it
up
went
double
up by a
because
lot.
the game treats it as though you've killed two people. So
That's
if
crazy.
you
I
have,
didn't know
say,
that.
overdrive mode, for example, your overdrive will charge double. And it
Cool.
also counts double for Don Tumbri's Karma move. So if you've ever seen the stat maxing related things that have the Don Tumbri trick method, then this will help you get your kill count up so that Don Tumbri does even more damage. So warrior monks count as double.
I think. I don't know.
I know you guys like
That was pretty cool, though.
So here's another one that you might find interesting. There is one way in this game to create an infinite loop.
Infinite
while you're in
loop.
a battle. And what I mean by this is you are going to get stuck in this battle and there is absolutely no way out of it, and you'll have to reset your console.
What?
So theoretically, if you haven't saved for a long time, this could actually ruin a save. It's unlikely to happen, but it's possible. It's definitely possible. So
67k?
the loop is to have an Aeon with high HP, high defense, and the regen.
99, you did max damage.
The Tankette in the monster arena, and the
How?
Tankette has a very interesting ability called Rush
I
Attack.
need to play this game more.
Rush Attack is a rank 1 attack, which means it is very quick with a very high recovery time.
What in the world?
And at the same time, it causes delay. So what Rush Attack does is that it will keep on attacking
Look at that
until
damage.
the enemy is dead. So what
That's
happens
insane.
here is if your Aeon has regen and you attack Tankette and Tankette hits back with Rush Attack, Tankette will keep on hitting you over and over again. But because your defense is high and your HP is high, regen will always out-heal whatever damage Tankette is doing to you.
Yeah, it's very
But because of
rare,
the delay
it
caused by the
seems.
attack and Tankette's speed of attack, because it's rank 1, it will always get the next turn before you do, and you will be stuck in an infinite loop where Tankette is trying to kill you with Rush Attack, but you are not dying, and regen will
It's
not
a cool
wear off
sword
because you do not get
that
a
Titus
turn.
is holding.
So you'll be stuck in a loop like this forever.
I'm
and
stuck
Tankette
in a
will just keep
loop.
ramming the shit out of you hopelessly. So you'll have to reset
Yeah, I
your
need to go
console
back and
in
play
this
this
case.
game to do the
So
end,
this
like
is one of the only ways we can get such an infinite loop like this in the game.
end game stuff. I want to do
So this time I'm gonna show something
999.
completely different. Kimahri is
99,000
one of my favourite
damage.
characters in this game because he doesn't speak very often, but when he speaks, it's almost
True.
always something of substance. So
True.
quality over quantity with Kimahri. But just how little does Kimahri speak? Well, I decided to check it out. Kimahri,
20
in the entire
lines.
game, in the
That's
main
my
story,
guess.
if you don't count optional conversations that you can do later on and that kind of stuff, he only has 159 words. in the
I
entire
was
game.
lowballing it.
So you might be thinking, what does that mean in relative terms? Well, let's compare that with Tidus, our hero.
1,000.
Tidus reaches 159 words before he even gets to Barge Temple. So that's
Oh.
easily within the first hour.
Okay.
So that is how
This could be
little
close to
Kimahri
1,000.
speaks in the game. Okay, I have another one for you that's to do with stuff that's in the data in the game disc but does not make it into the main
The
game.
big boy.
And that is the fact that there is a Buster Sword
What?
that Tidus can equip in this game. And it's in the game data, but it never made it into the final game.
No
I
way.
think that there is a video on this on YouTube.
Is this
You'll
a
see
hacked version?
Tidus using the Buster Sword.
Look at that.
Which is pretty interesting.
He's using it with
So
the
yes,
blunt
Buster
side.
Sword exists in Final Fantasy X.
Taking after
but you have
Angeal
to-
and
you have
Zack,
to
I
hack it
see.
to bring it to life. Unfortunately, Final Fantasy X was never released with dual audio. There are ways around it to get undubbed versions. You can check my channel for an undubbed movie. But in general, we've only ever seen the game in English or in Japanese. But what's interesting about the two dubs is that in the infamous final scene where Yuna has
Oh
to say
yeah,
goodbye
instead
to
of
Tidus,
I love you,
or
it's thank
Tidus
you,
has to
right?
say goodbye to Yuna. Yeah, it's that way around. In the English version, Yuna says "I love you" to Tidus.
Yeah.
But in the Japanese dub, she actually only says "thank you" to Tidus, which I think is a
Interesting.
subtle but also very significant change.
Interesting
So,
localization
yeah, let me know what you think
change.
about that one. But yeah, two different dubs, two different lines. So when we're at the beginning of the game and we
Hey,
we have to do a little bit of salvaging and
I remember
restoring
this.
energy and all this kind of stuff.
This feels like a long
And
time
while we're
ago.
down there, we see a shot of an ancient airship that's kind of buried at the bottom of the sea. But what you might
Right.
not realise is that that is exactly the same airship that Sid uses to escape from home.
Oh,
and
really?
That's the same airship that we ride throughout the final part of the game.
Cool.
This
Cool.
next one, if you've watched my walkthrough, you would already know this.
Summoner
but in
sank
case
them,
you
right?
haven't,
This place,
there
I'm
are
pretty sure.
an interesting set of weapons in the game that actually do 12.5% more damage than the others.
What?
Why? There is no reason for this, but it's just the way it is.
12.5 is a lot.
If you get a weapon that's been dropped by a bomb type enemy, those ones have a damage constant of 18 instead of 16.
Hmm.
So those guys end up doing more damage than any other weapon in the game for that reason. They don't have the best customizability or stuff to
Interesting.
equip, but for some reason, especially in some challenges, they can prove useful. But bomb drop weapons have a hidden 12.5% extra damage ability.
That's pretty cool. Pretty cool. What's up,
This next
Tabala?
one is something that might not be so well known by newer generation players, people that start to pick up Final Fantasy
That's
X
me.
after the HD remasters. Those of us from the
That's
PS2
me.
days will probably know about this, but newer players, this might be news to you. So in the PS2 version, in the international version on the PS2, there is actually a new game plus glitch.
Hmm.
And the way it used to work was that it was difficult to do, but if you were to revisit B Canal and you try to go past the two guys that are blocking the entrance to home, there was a way that you
It's
could,
home.
if you could talk and move at the same time somehow, you could kind of break through that little gap. And if you are
Ooh,
able
is
to do
there
that, then you go back to home.
secrets
and
here?
the game starts again as if you've never been there before.
Oh,
But
really?
you keep all of your extras that you had before. Apparently, there's reports that it causes issues in terms of like further glitches or freezing.
Interesting.
That kind of stuff. But there are also people who say they've successfully triggered it and just continued to play the game almost as a new game plus from there.
That's
So,
kind of cool.
yes, there was this glitch, but that is the only version.
Ah,
in which this
there they
glitch
are again.
exists, I believe. So
They're
interesting stuff.
back.
Okay, I've got some blitzball ones for you now. The first one is that there is somebody called Darren in this game. Again, walkthrough people will know about this, but if you're trying to recruit blitzball players, there is a player called Darren who is at the bottom of the Calmlands just before the entrance to the sunken cave, and he's sitting there swinging his sword around training. Now,
I
if
didn't
you
see
want
this guy.
on your team in blitzball, he's a decent goalkeeper, but funnily enough ends up having the worst stats pretty much of any player at level 99. But if you want him on your team because he's a decent goalie, you need to sign him there and then. After you have your first
400 gil, dude.
fight with Sin, Darren disappears, and he is probably the only player in the game. He's definitely the only recruitable player in the game that completely disappears off the face of Spira and
Wow.
he cannot be found anywhere. So
He returns to the
he's a
far
missable
plane,
player
dude.
in the game, and he's
He
unique
was
in that
actually
sense.
an unsent.
Oh, good old Darren. So he's out there somewhere. So, during your blitzing endeavours, you will have needed to do some tech copying, and you've probably done this to varying degrees of success. But, you know, all in all, there's a fairly common method to do it throughout. But there is one ability in Blitzball that is pretty much impossible to tech copy, and that is anti-drain. There's been a few people who have claimed to have done it, but there's absolutely no evidence for anyone who has, and a lot of the game's veterans who have been blitzing for over 10 years and have tried this, you know, hundreds, thousands of times, they have all been unsuccessful. Why? Nobody knows, but anti-drain is pretty much impossible to tech copy.
Okay. I didn't play on too much blitzball, so
And I have one final one about blitzing. So when you start the game, you have the original Aurochs, and one thing that you will always be frustrated about is how crap Keeper is in goal. Especially against the Luca goers, he's going to constantly
Yeah.
get in goals because his catching is only 5.
pretty
And,
trash.
you know, he just doesn't seem to be cut out for blitzball. But you might not have known that if you stick with Keeper and get him all the way up to level 99, he is the only player in the game who ends up with 99 shooting.
Oh wow.
That's right, I said shooting, not catch. He becomes
He's
the best shooter in the
what in
entire
the
game.
world?
So don't underestimate Keeper.
Oh gosh.
So how many of you guys have actually heard Waka's theme in the game?
I have not.
The answer to that question should be 0, because
Yeah.
Waka's theme is not heard at all in the game.
I didn't even know
the
he had a
only way you can
theme.
listen to it-
Wait, is it even on the soundtrack? I don't think it's even on the soundtrack, dude. Let me check. Let me check. I don't think it is. Or at least the one on Spotify. Waka 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 waka. Nope, no waka. What if I search it? Waka's theme. I didn't even know he had a theme in this game. Waka's theme. Yeah, it doesn't even come up. What in the world? My man Waka got snubbed.
It's an unreleased track. The only way you can listen to Waka's theme is if you actually buy it from the theatre in Lucca.
That's crazy. I didn't know that.
Why? I do not know. But Waka's theme is not heard in the game, and it's an unreleased track.
It's kind of cool.
Okay, so
Unreleased.
We've talked
Okay.
about glitches once before, but I'm going to have one more piece of information about glitches. There is one glitch in this game that is a major time saver, and it's been around for a very long time. And this glitch allows you to skip the Jose temple section entirely.
Oh
And
wow.
it's not something that I knew about until I started trying to research for information here, which it was a revelation to me as well. So
How are they gonna go to
You
Jose?
can skip the entire temple, and you do not have to do the cloister trials. You don't
Wow.
have to do the cutscenes there, and you don't get Ixion either. So if you want to do like a
Do they?
speedrun in which glitches are allowed, or you just
Yeah, I was gonna
theoretically
say.
skip that whole thing, there is a way to do it. So yes,
They
there's a
probably do
glitch
that
will allow you to
In
skip
speedruns
the
then.
entire.
That's gotta be
Jose
hard
temple
though.
Section.
I would think.
So for the final thing that you might not know about Final
Ooh.
Fantasy X, I'm going to try and answer a question. The question is, what is the most powerful attack in Final Fantasy X? Because when we're playing the game,
I
and
don't
especially
know.
when we get to higher levels, we see lots of moves that hit the damage cap,
Yeah.
99,999.
Yeah, it's crazy
So
still
I'm
to
sure you
me.
maybe wondered how far you can go beyond that. I mean, maybe does the attack actually hit for 150,000 and we only see it up to the damage limit, or is it actually hit for more? So I asked the question that was previously asked on the forums as well, of what is the most powerful attack in Final Fantasy X? And the answer is actually quite interesting.
How does he have a
So,
million turns?
The most amount of damage that you can inflict with a single move.
Look at this. The enemy doesn't even go. Does he have such high speed or something? What in the world?
The answer changes based on what version of the game you're playing. So if you're playing the original Japanese version on the PS2, the answer is, I'm happy to tell you, Auron.
He's maxed?
So-
Oh, okay.
Any Auron fans out there, you will be able to say that Auron has the most powerful attack in the entire game for the Japanese version.
Yeah, I'm gonna need to
And
play this
If Auron is equipped
Endgame
with his
stuff
celestial weapon, the
at
massive,
some point.
he has berserk status. He's at 1 HP of a possible maximum HP, so his HP is maxed, and he has 5 times cheer. Auron can inflict 7.6 million.
Huh?
Now, of course, when I say 7.6 million,
How?
you have to hack the game in order to remove the damage cap. But if you were to do that,
Look at that. What is this? This video is not the... Why is it like jumbled here? The video is not the original JP version. We only see 3.5 million here with the same conditions. Okay. So in the JP version, it would do 7.6 or something like that. That's crazy.
that you would know that Auron's attack is the most powerful. In
Yeah,
the entire
no
game.
kidding, it's an
But this
overkill.
only applies for the original Japanese version, which I think in the year 2015, not many of us would still have at this point, if ever.
Dum-ba-dum.
So let's talk about the maximum possible damage for the other versions. So the HD remastered versions,
Ooh,
the PAL version on the PS2, the North American version on the PS2, etc. Because the answer is different. In the original Japanese version, Auron's Masamune has like a different calculation regarding how
Masamune.
much damage it does. So that is
Like
why Auron is
Sephiroth's?
able to achieve.
yeah, I
this,
know, they're
7.6
all
million.
maxed.
Might I add with a
It looks
critical
really
hit, if I'm
nice.
bothered to go back and re-record
I kinda
that,
wanna look
it's a
at my
critical hit
file.
with 7.6 million.
I want to look at my file really quick. What did I beat the game with? What did I beat the game with? I think the highest I had was like 4K on Auron or something like that. Hold on, let me change it. Oh, wrong game. I just want to see. Dun, dun. Bum bum. Where's my last save? Look at that. This was such a good game. Oh, that's not the right button. Yeah. 46.51 on Auron. Wow. Look at this. I feel like most people who play this like casually the first time, they'll like do a lot of like endgame stuff, like Monster Arena or whatever it's called, and they'll get like geared out of their minds And then Nebraska's final Aeon's like a joke. I don't need help. I need to get out of here. Yeah. I need to play the end game of this game at some point. At some point.
So in the version that most of us are playing nowadays, that title actually belongs to Kimari.
Really?
You might not have expected. Kimari's Nova Overdrive.
It was trash for
Kimari
me.
has
For
max
me.
magic and 5 times focus.
Yeah,
And
I
it deals
definitely need
critical
to.
hit. Yes, I know.
I need to. What's it called? The only game I basically 100% did all the side stuff. Actually, no, I didn't technically. I didn't do Turtles Paradise, but that's like nothing. But like, the only game that I actually did like basically all of the side quests was 7. And then 8, I did like Shumi Village, and I don't even know what major side quests are in that game, to be honest. 9, I did a pretty decent amount. I did all the chocographs. I got all the chocographs. I did the chocobo side quest, which is pretty cool. I got Excalibur. What else did I do? I didn't beat Ozma. I'm gonna go back and do Ozma. That's something I need to do in FF9 again. And then 10, basically did like no endgame stuff. So, yeah. Oh yeah, FF8. I need to do triple triad stuff. That's actually fun. Triple triad in FF8 is really fun actually. FF9's triple triad is trash. Tetramaster, whatever it's called, trash. Actual garbage. Such a downgrade from FF8 triple triad. But yeah, I mean at some point, I will go back to those games. Just randomly. I'll just be like, hey, I'm gonna go do this like next time. It'll be cool.
Magic and critical hit.
We're gonna fight Ozma tomorrow.
That's just the way it goes. That's
First try.
Kimari's Nova Overdrive.
FF10 would be a lot of
and he has the title
stuff
for
though.
the most damaging attack in the regular versions that we're playing nowadays. But I've been talking about the most damage that we can do.
Because even in what's it
the
called?
actual
Yeah,
most
these
powerful
3.
attack
I
in
never
the
fought these
entire
3
Final Fantasy
in
X
FF10,
universe, whatever version
but they're in
you're
10
playing,
too.
Is the Dark Magus Sisters.
They're in
Delta
10
attack.
too.
This attack is absolutely monstrous.
And I was like, who the heck are these
And not
guys?
only that, it hits 6 times.
Yeah. No, I mean
Each
it was
individual
in
attack
10
hits
too.
more than
So
1 million damage,
it was a spoiler
and
there too.
because
But
you get hit 6 times from this attack, you add them all up,
it's
the
fine.
theoretical
We
maximum
saw them in 10
damage
too.
that the Dark Magus Sisters'
Ow,
Delta
that's a lot of
attack can
damage.
do is 9.9 million.
Oh wow,
So they almost break the 10 million barrier.
that's a lot.
So there we have it, guys. There's 20 things that you might not have known. Hopefully
Yeah,
I've got you
I
ready
actually didn't know a
some
lot of
these
this
that are worth
stuff.
your time. But if you did enjoy it,
Unsurprisingly,
feel
of
free to
course.
share this video so
I
we
think
can
I knew
share
2
some
of them
Final
or
Fantasy
something like
love.
that.
And do let me know in the comments.
I
if
think
you
I
want
knew
to
like
see
2
more
of
stuff
them.
Like this. And if you do, I will do my
Pretty
best
cool.
to dig up some more knowledge about this game.
Uh-oh, drama.
Wishing you all the best.
One of the
Take
Albed
care.
characters tells you that the airship is the one from the sea. Oh, it's done. I'm not watching that yet.
So let's do it. 20 things.
Stop. In fact, it was Riku who tells you. Yes, that, and it's obviously the same one. Don't know how anyone consider it a secret or not known. Nice. Do 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 do. Exposed. Caught in 4K. Alright. That was a cool video though. Now, I think I kinda wanna watch this one. I don't know if it's good or not, but it's got 500,000 views. And I'm intrigued by FF10-3. So I'm gonna watch it.
When Square released Final Fantasy X-2,
You think it sounds like clickbait? I mean, we'll find out now. We'll find out now. Let me increase the volume a little. Let's see if it's clickbait or not.
in 2003, they set a new precedent. Yes, Final Fantasy V had received an animated sequel some years before,
Wait, what? I mean, I didn't play 5 yet. Tell me if the sound is good. That should be fine.
but 10-2 represented the first time a Final Fantasy game had ever received a story continuation in the form of another game, and it was unexpected. Up
That
until that
is
point,
true.
it was well known that Final Fantasy games were self-contained entities.
Yep.
That's the way it always was, and that's the way we assumed it would always
Pixel.
be. But with Hironobu Sakaguchi on his way
Legend.
out of the company and Yuichi Wada now at the helm, there was a change in mindset brought about by an extraordinary set of circumstances. Square were desperate to try and recover from the financial shambles
What
that
is
was
this?
the Spirits Within.
What is
They
the
needed
spirits
cash
within?
and came up with
What is the spirits within? The spirits within. Oh, it's a movie? Final Fantasy The Spirits Within. 2001. Wow. That was a long time ago. 20 years ago. 44% on Rotten Tomatoes. 6.4 out of 10 on IMDb. What in the world? Why does it look like Star Trek? Or something. What in the world? This is Final Fantasy? It don't look like it. Well, it is what
with
it
numerous
is.
strategies to alter their negative trajectory.
It's like
One of these was to, and I quote, exploit
Just the
current
name is Final
franchises in
Fantasy,
a
yeah.
cost-efficient manner.
So it didn't even look like
Senior
it.
creators like Yoshinori Kitase and Tetsuya Nomura
Nomura!
were happy to indulge.
And
They
Katase.
saw a big shift happen within the company, and to many
Star
fans,
Wars.
Square had altered the deal.
I have altered the deal. Pray I don't alter it any further.
In the first half of 2002, it was
Oh.
reported that Square were working on 2 Final Fantasy X spin-offs. One
2?
would be based around Yuna, and
What?
the other would be based around Riku. During the 2002 Tokyo Game Show, Square then teased one of these projects to unwitting consumers as they sold a pre-rendered poster
Hey, look at that.
labeled as Final Fantasy X merchandise. Final Fantasy X-2 was then
10-2.
announced a month later at a press
The
conference
best game
as a
ever
new game
released.
that would focus around the story of Yuna and Riku. It was also revealed that Motomo Toriyama would replace Kitase as director, but the hidden story was that this new game would
1,000
act
words.
as a guinea pig for Square's plans around polymorphic content. When it launched, Ten-2 was divisive, but only in certain territories. Within Japan, the game was well received. They
Oh, really?
understood
Cool.
Toriyama's vision, and 3 years after its release, Famitsu readers voted it as the 32nd best game
Oh
of
my
all
gosh.
time.
Look at that! Better than Resident Evil Original. I didn't play these games. These are before my generation. Kinda. Well, not kinda. Look at this, 1989. Yeah, I didn't play any of these games. But, I mean, 10-2 I've played. It's not the greatest story in the world. It's fun to
Racing
play,
at the
though.
Head of classics like Metal Gear Solid,
Oh.
Pokemon Red and Blue,
Not
and
Pokemon!
Resident Evil 2. It was the West where
Or me.
audiences weren't all that sure. Some fans of the original felt the sequel catered to a different audience, young females as opposed to young males, and it meant they refused
What
to
is that
play the
face by
game in
Walker?
protest, not even willing to give it a try. Others did try and never forgave Square for what they had done, no doubt telling their friends about the experience, and it was in North America and Europe that sales fell way short of the
Yikes.
original. In Japan, 10-2 sales were
Yikes.
only 23% lower than the original, but in the West,
That's pretty
they
bad.
were 45% lower. And as this was a much bigger
It's a big
region,
money
it
loss.
represented an alarming
Just kidding.
drop-off. Still-
The whole game was like reused assets. I mean, I'm sure they still lost money, but
Square Enix were happy to proclaim Final Fantasy X-2
Hi,
as a roaring
fellows.
success, and one of the main reasons why was that from a financial perspective, it was. In just
oh
1 year,
really?
the team had managed to pump out a game that had sold over 5 million copies worldwide,
Not
and
bad.
they'd done so by decreasing the size of the development team by 2/3.
Oh my gosh.
This served as the ultimate validation for their focus towards polymorphic content. They could produce
2/3.
properties that exploited an existing audience in a cost-effective manner.
Yeah,
and
you
with a
reused assets
successful
the whole
case study
game.
under their belt, they then went full steam ahead on
Almost
the
the whole
compilation
game.
of Final Fantasy VII.
Crisis
With
Core,
Motomo
let's
Toriyama then
go!
assigned as the director
Woo!
for Final Fantasy 13,
Oh, I didn't play
saw
this game yet.
attention move away from Final Fantasy X, but the notion of building up the universe came back into focus when the HD remaster released 10 years later.
I played that.
Despite voicing initial concerns about the creation of Ten-2, Kazushige Najima then
I read
penned a
that.
novel called Final Fantasy X 2.5.
You know, what's it called? The more I think, because off stream I was thinking about stuff about the book, just like processing stuff. And the more I thought about it, the more I didn't like the book. The more I didn't like it. Like, should have just left it alone, to be honest. If you ask me. Should have just left it alone, dude. Like, in the world, Titus literally died in the book, and then he got beckoned by Yuna. Dude's on his third life. What in the world? How many times does this guy have to die?
The Price of
And then
Eternity,
audio drama,
and
right?
wrote an audio drama
I
entitled
didn't like this. Because Titus and Yuna were angry with each other. That's not cool. They're supposed to be happy. Also, Sin's back. Like, I feel like that's like what, really like it's like good one. It's like I don't know. It feels
Final
like an
Fantasy
easy way
X
out
Will.
to make a new story. Be like, oh yeah, let's just bring back this guy. It's like in those shows that run for like 20 seasons or 10, 20 seasons. It's like, oh yeah, let's bring back the guy who died like 4 seasons ago.
They were created with a specific intention of expanding the universe further, extending the timeline beyond 10.2, and this was a pretty common tactic employed by Square
Volume up
Enix.
video? Sounds. Got it. Got it. Let me just do this. Do 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 do. Ba-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
As a way of trying to gauge interest in future growth. Final Fantasy X International, for example, included Eternal Calm. It was
Yeah.
released to show life in
That was pretty
Spira
cool.
after the end of the original game, a nice surprise for fans. But fan reaction was much larger than expected, and Square decided to use this as a rationale for the production of a sequel. Tetsuya Nomura has also used this tactic within the Kingdom Hearts franchise
Really?
numerous times, so it was logical for fans to gain an expectation. But Shinji Hashimoto flat out denied that the novel and audio drama were produced as a prequel.
That makes literally zero sense to me. Because the audio drama literally ends on a cliffhanger. Well, not cliffhanger, but like it ends as a like setting up for something else. It's like you don't just be like, "Oh yeah, we brought back the main enemy from the first game." And Yuna says she's going to defeat him again. And also Titus and Yuna are fighting. Even though they're like the couple of the game. And then it's like, that's it. That was the plan. Just to let everyone imagine what would happen from there.
Precursor
That makes
to
no
Final
sense to
Fantasy
me.
X-3. The challenge was
Bandana.
that even if that were the case, they must have been aware that it would awaken latent interest in such a property existing, especially as their own staff members felt the same way.
Really?
Kojima noted in the remaster Ultimania that writing the new material had made him very interested in working on 10.3, and Katase
10.3
shared
coming
that
out
when producing
soon.
the audio drama, the rest of the staff had become really excited about the prospect of creating another game.
Ooh.
So
The
if
staff
Square
wants to
Enix
make the
wanted to
game.
create 10.3, why hasn't it happened? Well, in 2016, Hashimoto acknowledged that fans, by this point, had gained an expectation about a sequel, thanks to the audio drama. However, he noted that with Nomura and Kitase both occupied, they were unable to work on the Final Fantasy VII remake.
Oh no! If they can't work on remake, then I'll be sad. So they would want them on that team then, huh? I mean, it would make sense. They kind of did 10 and 10 too, right? The sacrifices we have to make. Kingdom Hearts.
3
Hey,
and
listen. I mean, I haven't played Kingdom Hearts 3. I've heard very negative things about the game. I mean, in retrospect, I think you could have just let that one go. We should have just gone with 10-3. It's the better choice.
Final Fantasy
I need
X
to play the Kingdom Hearts series at some point.
and 3 all at the same time.
It's-
Square
it's on
Enix would
PC
instead
now,
prefer
so-
to focus more on titles that had been
Yeah,
announced.
remake.
So I prefer
Woo!
the fans waited a little bit longer for anything on 10.3. That was over 3 years ago now. But
16 and
Katase has
10-3.
continued that narrative since, reiterating numerous times that they want to make Final Fantasy X-3, they just don't have the time
So they
because of
want
other
to
priorities.
make it? They want to make it. That's good news. That's good news. That means in once remake is finished in 20 years, 10-3 is going to come out. And we can finally see the next part of the story in Spira. I am looking forward to it.
Please. In a way, it's quite similar to what they said in response to fans wanting the Final Fantasy VII Remake. They want to do it, but they just need the right staff and right levels of resource to be available.
Just make
But to
another
me,
Nomura
it
and
highlights more than just a lack of time. It also
Katase
highlights
and
a
all
lack of
those
vision
guys.
and a lack of trust. For some time now,
13.
Square Enix has been happy to cater to subsets of the franchise in spite of the apparent diminishing returns. The Final Fantasy XIII trilogy serves as the poster child for
Oh my
this.
gosh. This is like, oh man, this is bad. I mean, I haven't played these yet. I did buy them, of course. See? After 12, we're going to play the trilogy of FF13. But I was gonna say I haven't played it, so I don't know if they just reused a bunch of assets for both these games also, or if they were just all new games entirely. Because if it's all new games entirely, this is very bad. If it's reused assets, it's probably not as bad, but still pretty bad. Look at this, more than half.
Each game
Decrease.
sold significantly less than the one before, but they persisted as the games made them decent money
The
due to
graphics
decreased
look good,
development
though.
time. Final Fantasy X-3 would be similar, in that it would only appeal to a subset of the fan base, but there's
Me.
still plenty of interest in the universe despite it being almost 20 years old. And this was evidenced by our video in response to Hashimoto's 2016 quote, which has received almost 500,000
Pretty
views.
much confirmed. Let's
Square
go.
Enix clearly knew that creating the audio drama would stir up interest in a future property, not least because they chose to extend the timeline. They showed conflict
I
between
like
two
Yuna with long hair. She looks cool. Although this doesn't really look like Yuna, honestly. Like, where's her FF10 Yuna art image? Where's Nomura? I don't want to see fan art. Where's her thing? In the world? Portrait? Is that what you would put? I don't know. No, this is Lulu. This is... What's up, Nikus? What's going on? But here, even this one. That's not the one. Right? Like, it doesn't really look like Yuna. Maybe it's just the angle, but... The long hair is cool.
Tidus and Yuna introduced new characters and brought Sin back.
Yay,
it was only
Sin,
logical that people
yay!
would want answers. So why did they create the demand without having a plan to back it up? Well, perhaps they did have a plan at one point. Najima
Has
even
it been
noted that
Mikus?
he's already nailed down the plot for 10.3 and
Really?
he's pitched the idea to Square Enix, but maybe things changed. And this then points to the consistent
Ooh.
rationale that's been rolled out over the past 4 years. They can't make it because Nomura and Katase are too busy.
Yeah.
Their involvement would no doubt need to be critical
Yep.
if Square Enix wants to produce something similar to the Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Oh yeah.
This would allow any new property to cater to existing fans, but also make it relevant to new ones too, much like they tried to do with Kingdom Hearts 3 as well. It's an admirable stance, and it would help to maximize their efforts. But it's not the only approach available to them, and successes like Octopath Traveler
Ooh,
more than
Octopath.
highlight this, as do the significant sales of the HD remaster. That Square Enix keep highlighting the required input of Nomura and Katase also devalues the contributions other staff members could make, and this then points to a lack of trust. In times past,
Well, that's not
Sakaguchi
good.
knew that it was impossible for him to contribute in the manner he had been for the first few games. He hired people to help and delegated. It meant that by the time Final Fantasy VI arrived, he was happy to step aside and let others take up the mantle. People
I
like
see.
Katase.
Wait a minute. Look at that.
Happy to step aside and let others take up the mantle.
Look at that picture right there. Imagine being able to hold the Buster Sword like that. Look at that. Where can I get one of these, dude? That's a legendary pose right there. If that was me, I'd frame that on my wall. In a big poster covering the whole wall. Right there. And then put the Buster Sword right next to it, too. Imagine if they sold Buster Swords, though. They could literally charge, like, 1,000. And it would sell out like that. And if it costs, like, $50 to make, they could charge 1,000 for it. Easily.
But like Katase,
Easily.
deci-
They probably sell them. They do not. If they did, I would have one. Probably. Yeah, they don't sell them. Unfortunately, they're losing out on profits. They need to hire me as their merchandise advisor, dude. I know what I'm doing. Sword Planet, whatever. They used to have the OG Buster 50-inch, really. Maybe. Actually, you know what? Sword Planet. Buster Sword. Images. This is Facebook. I ain't going to no Facebook. Swords Planet. No, it's gone. My dreams. I can't embrace my dreams anymore. But they make them on like there's like Buster Swords on Etsy. What's it called? Some of them are actually kind of cool. I've looked into this. Don't worry. Etsy. Some of them are actually kind of cool. Like this one. Look at this. That's actually pretty dope. Check that out. Look at that. Clean. This guy's dual wielding Buster Swords. He went back in time to the Crisis Core universe, and in the current universe, and he has both. Actual legend. But look at that. Oh, Square could charge 1,000 people. It would sell out. I'm telling you. Listen. I know no one at Square is listening, but you're missing out on money. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. 3,000 for shipping to Norway. Yeah, basically, probably. It would be rough, but I can guarantee you, if they sold a Buster Sword, even if it was $1,000, it would sell out instantly. They gotta do
Decision
it.
was made to remake Final Fantasy 3 and 4. They did so knowing that
Easy
Sakaguchi
money.
could not contribute.
Printing
And they had
money,
the same stance when expanding the story in
as
the
long as it's
after
high
years.
quality.
Final Fantasy 12, the
Can't be
Zodiac
a
Age, was released in
cop
a
out.
similar manner. There was no involvement from Yasumi Matsuno, and Hiroki Ito and Hiroshi Minagawa were credited as supervisors. Final Fantasy 12's sequel, Revenant Wings,
Oh, there's a
was
sequel?
even
Does that mean I have to play that too?
created by a different team, with Daisuke Watanabe only
Is it
offering
good?
a light touch in terms of guidance.
I don't even know
The
if
people
12
who
is good.
oversaw these projects in their stead were all veterans at Square Enix, and there are plenty of creators still at the company who worked on Final Fantasy X outside of just Katase and Nomura.
That's true.
Three that come to mind would be Hiroki Chiba, Takashi Katano, and Koji Sugimoto. Each worked on Final Fantasy X in pretty senior roles, and they have since shown their pedigree. Chiba, for example, was one of 8 event planners who worked with Katase, Toriyama, Watanabe, and Najima on Final Fantasy X. Prior to that, he wrote Final
FF8.
Fantasy VIII scenario with Najima, and has since penned Final Fantasy Type 0 and World of Final Fantasy, which he also
Interesting.
directed.
That's a lot.
Katano and Sugimoto were the 2 main programmers on 10 and were also major contributors to
hello.
the 10.10.2 HD remasters. Katano was also the man who directed the Zodiac Age after working on the
Ooh,
original.
I'm gonna play that today.
Could one of these men not be empowered to create something original and expansive in a universe that they know so well, instead of doing things like overseeing the release of the Zodiac Age on Xbox One and Switch, or working on a mobile title
is
like
this?
Schoolgirl Strikers?
What is this? You could be making FF10-3 and instead this is happening? Come on, guys. Come on. Where's our priorities here?
Square Enix no doubt have logical reasons for these decisions.
What in the
and
world,
it's easy to
dude?
sit here without knowing the inside line, but the one thing that cannot be denied is that there is a willingness within the fan base for Square Enix to create Final Fantasy X-3 due to nothing but Square Enix's own actions. And as they continue to fan the flames by giving statements even as recently as 6 months ago, all
6
they are
months
doing
ago
is
from
keeping the hope alive
this date.
and stringing people along, giving no definitive timeline in sight for when they will get the closure that they now feel is needed. Kingdom Hearts 3 and the Final Fantasy VII Remake
Woo,
have
remake.
often been used as
Let's
the reasons
go.
why the game can't be made. But one of those games has now been released, and the other
True.
releases in a few months' time.
That's been
two
released
obstac-
too. But then again, that's not really good. Oh my gosh, this is an old build. Yeah, this is an old build. Look at the font and stuff. Cool. That's kind of cool. But yeah, remake, even though it's done, there's going to be like at least three other parts, I think. So, but Kingdom Hearts, they haven't done anything for a long time. I think that means they're working on 10.3, right?
Calls
It's
removed.
basically confirmed.
Katase has also voiced that he would like younger talent to step up and take his
Wait,
place.
what
And
the heck?
Katase has
FF8 remake? I'd be down for that. I'd be down for an FF8 remake. Imagine high quality Waltz for the Moon scene, ballroom scene, high quality Balam vs Galbadia, high quality Edia and Ultimisia, HD Renoa, yeah, HD Renoa, the point, and then the yeah, exactly. HD Keystis, HD Zell, HD everything, HD Delling City. Man, honestly, they should just do, like, I don't know if remake specifically, but they should definitely make like 7, 8, 9. Actually, I don't know. People want 6. I know a lot of people like 6. 6. How about this? 6 through 10, in the style of remake, like graphics wise and updated combat and tech and stuff like that. They should do that. There you go. Easy money
has
again.
also voiced that he would like younger
You know how much
talent.
money remake made? How much money did remake make? How much money FF7 remake make? Is anything even gonna come up with this search? It cost 200 million to make, okay? But how many sales? FF7 remake sales. 1 billion sales. Is there just no number? Here, video game charts. Internet. Please. Okay, while it's loading. They should just
To step up
Do
and take his
it.
place, so that's another potential obstacle removed. Fingers crossed, with the path now becoming more clear, Square Enix will see the merit in finishing
Good
the story
ending.
they've continued to tease and expand so that this particular chapter can be closed. But what do you guys think? Are you still holding out hope that the game will be developed? Or do you just
Yeah.
wish they will call it a day and stop stringing fans along?
They should
Be
have
sure to
stopped
let us
after
know in
10
the comments
too.
how you're
Maybe
feeling
even
about
after
10.3
10.
at the moment. And if you enjoyed this snapshot of the situation surrounding 10.3,
They
please
should.
be sure
I
to
don't
hit
like.
that like button
I
and
didn't like the
subscribe
book.
to our channel. Alright guys, this is Daryl
I did
signing
not
out.
like the book or the audio drama. Unless they do something about it. Yeah, bringing back Sin also makes a lot of stuff from 10 meaningless. That's kind of one of the things why I think it's kind of a like a cop-out type of story thing. It seems like an easy way out of making a story. Just be like, oh yeah, let's just bring back Sin. And then they fight them at the end. Fight Sin at the end, easy. Easy clap. Give me my money. Give me a like, sure. There you go. Yeah, it was a pretty good video, actually. Actually, a
big
pretty
thanks
good
to all
video.
our Patreon and YouTube membership supporters, and of course, a big
I
thanks
mean,
to all of you for joining
yeah.
me with this video.
Basically, long story short, Square has thought about 10.3 apparently, according to the video. Assuming everything in the video is true. Square has thought about making 10.3. They just haven't had time or resources to do it. And also, it probably wouldn't sell as well as they would like. Just by looking at trends like with even just 10 to 10.2, but also 13, the trilogy of 13, literally like half the sales, half the decreased sales with each release. And then from 13.2 to Lightning Returns, it was like more than half. But still, the people want what they want. Please give me more 10 FF10 stuff. Honestly, it'd be kind of cool and funny all at the same time. Cool because I mean FF102 came out in 2003. And then I mean the remaster came out in 2013, I think. So we're pushing almost 10 years at this point. almost 10 years. Maybe in 2 years FF103 will come out because it'll be the 10-year anniversary of the HD remasters. Cool though. I mean, I don't know. I'm not gonna hold my breath. I'm not gonna hold my breath for this. If it happens, I'll play it. If it doesn't, so be it. So be it. But good video.